don't think I like that. Well, there's more light, but okay. Yeah, I think this is good enough lighting for now. Just bring the hammer down. There we go. Hello? Okay, yeah, it's working. Okay. Now we're good to go. Well, I assume that you guys saw the title of the video of this podcast or live or whatever you want to call it. The Smuggles Show 3. And today we are covering nostalgia bait. And why nostalgia bait of all things? Well, because it's flipping everywhere. It's like no matter where you go, someone is always bringing up the past. Like you didn't sign up for all these archaeologists on YouTube, you know. A little jab at them, I guess. Always bringing up the damn past. Like, oh, when we were growing up, this was different. When I grew up, this was different. When you guys are growing up, everything's different now. Like, yeah, and I do get that. You don't really need to make it aware, though, by like any stretch of the imagination, because nostalgia, it's nice. It's a good thing. Like once in a while, it's like having some of your favorite wine, or maybe going out somewhere. And it's good in moderation like that. But the sheer levels of it now on YouTube is absurd. And like I hate that anytime I go on like YouTube Shorts, for instance, there's always no thanks. There's always someone posting about, like I was saying in the past, and I'm sick of it. Sure, you heard that one before. The main reason why I'm sick of it, though, is just because, like, everyone has already experienced it. Yeah, you could argue, someone born, like, 10 years ago and up didn't get to see all the stuff that the nostalgia baiters are talking about. And that's good and all, but it's, like, dumb to think that talking about it is going to bring it back, Nostalgia is like someone desperately trying to cling on to something that no longer exists. And if you look at it through that lens, it's fairly obvious that the people doing it don't feel like they belong anymore. They don't feel a part, like they're a part of the damn the mission, I guess. The mission being, I don't know why we're all here in a general sense. And I get that it's fine to miss things that are gone because we do that a lot as humans, whether it be for like our pets or our relatives or family, relatives in the family. Well, those are good, just reasons to miss things. Uh, but if you're like nostalgia baiting over like different styles of animation, different different values, um, stuff like that can still be manipulated to a degree. I feel. And if the person baiting like truly cared, then they would do that. They would manipulate the system to bring back those things that they're now missing out on. Well, that everyone else is missing out on. But then that seems kind of selfish because it's now imposing the ideology that the past, whatever it is universally better than what we have now, which is a pretty big jab to like everyone else's ideology because now they're going to be thinking or they're going to be in belief that whatever the hell you're saying, you're only saying it because you want to be right. And that ain't good at all. It's not good just because usually when somebody is like like claiming that they're always right about something, they usually tend to be always wrong about it. There's like never anything that they actually do perceive as right that often. That often. I do get, it's nice to be right, but it's still a hill that you got to be willing to die on. And I feel like that's where like nostalgia baiting really comes from, the fact that all these people claim or laid claim to the premise that stuff in the past is right, that no matter what, it'll always be right. There's no change in it. There's nobody contesting or yeah, contesting it. Um, and for those reasons, like it just feels to me very cheap to want to do it because no one likes it if somebody is just going, "Oh, I'm always right about this or that because I was there, I saw it." It's like whoop de doo, you have eyes, you can see. The only people you're wanting up are blind ones, and even then, they probably see a lot more than you do. If all you're thinking is that you're right all the time, which is proven again to not be the case that often. Most most cases. Otherwise, everyone. Well, no, everyone already is doing it. I think it's because everyone's just a big baby. That or everyone doing it is a big baby because they're not willing to let go of the fact that they won't get any more of what they were promoting through the nostalgia. Like basically, the nostalgia has run its course. It's pointless now. Why return to it when you have stuff that could be considered better than it within the same context of it? For like, it's like when people talk about blockbuster or like Redbox and the stupid memory music that plays with it. Memory music. The music that's like do 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 do, like it was some kind of mystical land. It was magical, even. It wasn't none of those things. It was just technology that they had access to at the time. It's just like taking a yacht, because a lot of people on the richer side do it. The thing is, people on the richer side used to do it to go from point A to point B in style. Now with planes, that's all they need. Planes and private jets. That's all they take. Because that's all they need to take. It's the same thing here with like Blockbuster or Redbox or one sec. Renting any kind of like video game or movie or whatever the heck, family video, uh, all those good, fun DVD rental places, and I guess VHS rental places. Yeah, those are all totally gone by the wayside, replaced by different technology, better technology than they had at the time. And if they did have it at the time, then that's what would be nostalgia baited right now, instead of VHSs and DVDs. There are some benefits, to each previous device, and there have been for a while. Uh, like VHSs, for instance. If you if there's a problem with the tape, it's very easy to just cut out whatever is giving you the problem and then splice together the rest. It won't be perfect, but it'll still work. Good luck doing that with a DVD, and good luck doing that with a digital download. Thing is, with a digital download, you can just get it again if there's a problem. So, again, these problems are fixed. Like, you can't really call it a problem if the solution for it is already there. At least that's how it is, in my opinion. So, all these channels doing that stuff, they're just like low hanging fruit, if you ask me. And they are because they're preying on other nostalgia baiters, even if they're not strictly baiting nostalgia, they're still trying to rekindle what was lost through it with others. And what's dumb about that is that like it falls under it was like a theory or something that no matter what generation you're from, you will always instinctively think that that was the best generation, that that was the greatest generation, because you were a part of it, which is really prideful. And sad, I would say. Sad for the people still clinging to that. It's like if you won like an award one time and then just made that your whole personality. You just bring up the stupid award anytime like you're put on the spot. Like that award defines you. You don't define it anymore. That's what's going on with nostalgia and the generation of which it came from. The fact that people, want to say that their generation is the best. Their generation of nostalgia is the best. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of good, bangers out there when it comes to like music and stuff from the 80s, 90s, 70s, etc. Oh, really fun, original, most importantly, music from those times, but those times are gone. They're gone by decades now. And I'm not saying, we should all just conform to what's pushed on us as the norm nowadays, because that's really awful. I'm not trying to downplay originality by any stretch of the imagination. It's just it's not really original when everyone's doing it, you know? If everyone's listening to 80s music, then well, it's not really that clever to be doing that anymore. But if you're scouring through several dozens of bands and you find a few really good ones, then that's original because those bands would be in the now. You know, they were able to use. Music technology has come a long way as well. You could listen to all kinds of sounds that you could never even conceptualize back then. That's what a lot of people listening to these types of music don't get. And again, it is good music. Um, some would even call it the best back then, but it's never coming back. So is it always going to be the best? Or is it just because that's what we're believing to be the best? Because everyone else tells us it's the best. I mean, people do listen to a lot of the music from now. Otherwise, there would be no music industry whatsoever. It's just, I guess I am kind of targeting the minority, but the minority are the nostalgia baiters. They're the last, I wouldn't say leech, the last something that's holding you back. That's holding this generation back from doing something truly beautiful. I mean, you can hold your generation as the standard for something. And if it goes below that standard, then yeah, it's fair to express discontent and discontent and what's that other word? Disbelief. Discontent and disbelief. Then music as a whole is dying based on the fact that it's no longer the same standard as what you had um, in the 80s or 90s. But then, there are a few oh, good bands out there. I mean, I don't really listen to music that often, but I imagine if I looked for them, I would probably find them. There are a few good ones in my opinion, but that's what it comes down to, right? It comes down to opinions. And I dare anyone to find someone that grew up with 80s music to find then to then find a song for that person who enjoyed 80s music 80s music 80s music to then enjoy something made today as much as they did back then. And that's really difficult. Then again, the inverse happens as well. Like if you try and find, yeah, take a shower. If you try and find someone from today, Gen Alpha, or Gen Z, I don't care. Pick one. Why am I yawning? Pick one of them and see if you can find a song from the 80s that they would enjoy. And the majority will like it, but there will always be some that don't. So to those some, the 80s isn't going to be the best music. It's going to be music, but to them, it's not going to be the best universally. And there's no real way to have a universal answer either, is there? This is just getting more complicated by the minute, which I don't mind. I mean, I was kind of just expected to pop on here and I was expecting to pop on here and just talk smack, as people do on medians like these. But yeah, no. How do you universally declare that one thing is the best out of all the things? And I guess the only way to find that out is to ask someone on their deathbed, because that person would have experienced, several, several different decades of, what the generation that encompasses those decades had to offer. And it's like going back to the old saying of can't teach an old dog new tricks and all that. If that person then says that only what they liked, like only what they grew up with was the best, then you gotta wonder if that person is just being biased or if it's the truth. So then you find others all on their deathbed equally or from at least a piece of that generation. So let's say seven, no, let's say four generations, right? Someone lives through four generations and says that the first one, the one that they grew up in, was the best. Now, find someone from four generations before that, which is kind of hard to do, and ask them which generation is the best. And if they say theirs was and not the second generation, which is what the first guy's answer was, then you'll know that nostalgia just all bias. Every last bit of it is just bias. And the more you push your own bias onto someone else, the more division and the more division and the more some other thing, chaos, you'll be sowing into this generation, because now it's like what are the people today supposed to like, right? One could argue that they can like what's in their generation because they were a part of it, but then you explain, or that same person would explain to someone from another generation that the stuff in theirs was better than the previous one, and the person in the previous one most likely won't agree. If you find enough people, some might agree with you, but the overwhelming majority will declare that their generation was the best one. And I guess that's what I'm trying to get at here with this, the fact that talking a lot is making me yawn for some reason. Wasn't having this problem earlier. I wonder what it could be. Anyway, what was I saying? I was talking about right. So if you found three people from different generations, all of them are usually going to say that their own was the best one. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. That's why the whole idea of nostalgia is so pointless. Because, yeah, you can talk about it. You can say it was the best, but don't forget to add, in your opinion, it's the best. From your experience, it's the best. If you're just going around saying that it's the best and not providing any kind of forethought, before that regarding as to why it's the best, then it's going to out you into thinking, or it's going to out you and make you look like um, you don't know what you're talking about because you're just saying it randomly. It's like if you say randomly, I have the best air conditioner because it's hot, but you've only ever purchased one. How can you say that's the best one if you haven't tried all the others? Like, where are you getting it being the best from? And that's why I say, you get someone the older the better for these questions, because at least you'll have a more objective answer across all of them. An experiment like that, though, is going to take a lot of volunteers. It's funny, too, because I thought about this kind of thing. I thought about this kind of thing when I was a kid. Like, if someone asks you what your favorite movie is, and you say something like, I don't know, Toy Story 4, right? Well, how do you know that's going to be your favorite movie if you haven't seen that many movies? Like, without the context of it's my favorite movie that I've seen up to this point, then everything gets lost in translation. And I guess that's just how important context is, how important it tends to be, and how the majority of it just, like I said, gets lost in translation. Because everyone has, like, we are in the age of, intellect. We're in the age of free schooling, after all. So we, as a species, should be able to answer even the most difficult questions like those over just saying, for the sake of saying, that your opinion is the best because you were part of it. It's just horrible, terrible, no good. Uh, and yeah, I think that about wraps it up, honestly. Nostalgia baiters, dislike them anytime you see them. That's what I'd be doing. Especially because, like, it's also a pretty big tease as well, I would say. Because you're referencing something to an audience that was never a part of it. I mean, some probably were, but not all of them. And it's just like, okay, what's the new audience supposed to do with this knowledge? Like, well, where's the context? What's the meat of it? There is no meat. It's just lies. Lies, pride, and propaganda. Trying to brainwash you into thinking that their generation was the best one when, objectively speaking, it probably wasn't. It was a time. It was fun to participate in that time. Yeah, we all know. We were all there for the most part. Everyone who was there knows what it was like because they were there. So there's no point in reminding them of something that they already know. You know, if you go and, try and study for something you already know the answers to, what's the point of that? People don't just forget, you know. years of their lives, years of their lives, um, on a whim. So, the whole generational gap thing, yeah, it does exist. But to think that people need to be reminded of their own generation is silly because they were already a part of it, and anyone that wasn't a part of it doesn't care about it because they aren't or they weren't a part of it. It's just an oxymoron. All of this nostalgia baiting is just that, an oxymoron. And we really don't need more of that on YouTube. More oxymorons, more contradictions, more hypocrites. But I guess that's the price you pay when you're on here, dealing with all them. What can you do? I think me personally, I dislike videos like those. I think that's the best thing you could probably do. And a lot of them are AI as well, so it's not even original anymore. You make something unoriginal by doing an unoriginal practice with it, and that's exactly what's happening with nostalgia. Whew, so sickening. But I'd say that about wraps it up. Like if I do 30-minute ones, right? 30-minute podcasts, I can do more of them. Considering that's like all the meat, it's in the first 30 minutes. I would say after reviewing my last two, then the rest I kind of just ramble on about nonsense. uh, which is fun for me, but I don't want to fatten. There's no need for excess fat in the ranks. Also, here's to me getting down to 263. Tomorrow I'll be cheating on my diet, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have a couple days of indulgence. See where that gets me. See how much weight I put on. I do plan on working out though, so it won't be a total loss of calories or a total gain of calories. Anyway, uh, yeah, that'll do it for this podcast. Podcast, the Smuggles Show, starring me, Smuggles. All right, let me figure out how to end it. Oh yeah, right there. Bye, everyone.